There's a man you've met 3 times on this channel. Weak fire, born in winter, buried underwater. Episode 10, I read his chart. Episode 12, I told you what he needed. Episode 13, I used him to show you what a following structure is not. Today I can tell you where he's standing, in one word. Reached now, he's at conception, not born yet. And in 2026, he arrives at standing in office. Though, say aren't phrases I invented for the video. They're 2 of 12 fixed positions. They're the oldest measuring stick in this system, and by the end of the next 14 minutes, you'll be able to name yours off your own chart without looking anything up. And he reads the thing, you already know 4 of them. In Episode 9, I told you every trine has a starting animal. That's position 1. In episode 14, I told you Peach Blossom is 1 step past the start. That's position 2. I told you the Yang Blade is your element at maximum. That's position 5. And the vault, the storage branch, the thing that makes someone carry Canopy, that's position 9. I've been handing you pieces of the same object for 6 episodes without telling you it was one object. 十二长生, the T12 stages. Today you get the whole wheel. New here, Jim O-or-Y. I read pulses for a living, and this channel is where I aim the same theory at dates instead of bodies. Yin, Yang, and the 5 elements. 1 vocabulary, 2 maps. Let's go. Start with what the wheel is, because the premise is simpler than anything else I've taught you. An element is not a quantity, it's a process. It shows up, it grows, it peaks, it fades, it gets put away, and then it comes back. 12 branches, 12 positions, 1 full arc. The tradition names them like a human life, and I'm going to walk you through all 12 right now quickly because the names carry most of the meaning. Zhang Sheng, long life, birth. The element has just arrived. It is not strong here. It's alive, it's pointed forward, and everything about it is potential rather than performance. Mu Yu, bathing. The newborn, and gets washed, brand new, completely uncovered, in full view. You've met this one, this is Peach Blossom, and now you know why it means exposure before it means charm. Aguan Dai, capping and belting, the old coming-of-age ceremony. Dressed for a role you haven't performed yet, qualified on paper, competent in theory. Lin Guan, taking office. You have the post, you do the work, you get paid for it. This position has a second name you'll see everywhere, Lu, the salary. This is functional adulthood, and for my money, it's the best position on the entire wheel. Di Wong, emperor, maximum, absolute. Peak of that element, and you already know the catch, because when a Yang Day master sits on this one, the tradition stops calling it emperor and starts calling it the blade. Peak is 1 notch past useful. Shuai, decline. The first step down. Nothing is wrong here. It's simply no longer increasing, and that's a different feeling from being weak. Bing, illness, the function still works. Case, but it works with difficulty and it costs something to run. Sit, death. The element has no activity. Tie at this branch. Not you dying. The element inert. Read it as this doesn't operate here. Mu, the tomb, the storage, the vault. F, ul, and closed. Episode 13 was largely about one of these. Episode 14 called it Canopy. Jue, cut off, 0. Nothing of that LMA. It remains at this branch, and this is the strange one, because Jue is the bottom of the wheel, and the bottom of a wheel is the place where it turns. Type conception. It exists, but it has no independent shape yet. It is entirely dependent on something else to sustain it. Yang, nurturing, gestating, being fed toward a birth that hasn't happened. and then the wheel starts over. Look at the shape of that. It is not a ladder. From good to bad, it's a wave. 2 peaks of usefulness on the way up, taking office and emperor, a long slope down through decline, illness, death into storage, then the floor at cut off, and then it climbs again through conception and nurturing back to birth. Nobody stays anywhere. That's the point of drawing it as a circle. So which wheel is yours? Your day stem, the char, actor that is you. There are 10 stems and each one has its own starting gate, the branch where that stem is born. Yang wood is born at the pig, yang fire is born at the tiger, and yang earth rides along with it, born at the tiger too. Yang metal is born at the snake, yang water is born at the monkey. Pig, tiger, snake, monkey. Look at those 4. Those are exactly the 4 animals I called the starting gates last episode. The 4 that trade places to make everybody's travelling horse. Same 4 corners, and now you know what corner means. It's where an element gets born. From your starting gate, you walk forward around the BR. Anches, 1 position per step in the order I just gave you. Yang wood, born at the pig, means bathing at the rat, capping at the ox, taking office at the tiger, emperor at the rabbit, and that lines up with 2 things you already know, because Yang Wood's salary branch is the tiger and Yang Wood's blade is the rabbit. The wheel is not a new system. It's the thing all those little tables were cut out of. The yin stems have their own starting gates, and in the CL classical scheme, they run the circle backwards. That's a real fight in the literature, and I'm going to give you the honest version of it at the end, not bury it. For now, take the table, it'll be on screen. Before the part that matters, go get the thing that makes it matter. easternreading.com, 30 seconds, free, no sign up, link in the description. You need your 8 characters up because from here I'm asking you to look at 2 specific ones. I'm not going anywhere, go. Chart open, then stop watching me and start watching it. Use number 1, and this is the one that pays for the whole episode. Take your day stem, take your month branch, second column, bottom character, run one against the other. That single word is your daymaster's condition at birth. Episode 12, I gave you strong and weak and told you it was most of professional practice. It is. But strong and weak is a 2-bucket answer to a 12-position question, and the 12 positions tell you something the 2 buckets flatten. 2 people, both weak. One is at death, one is at conception. Those are not the same patient. The one at conception isn't damaged, it's unformed, and unformed things respond enormously well to being fed. Resource is the whole prescription. The one at death is a different problem. The element doesn't operate in that season at all, and what it usually wants is company, other characters of its own kind, before anything else will take. And a daymaster in storage is its own case entirely. That one isn't weak, it's locked. Everything is in there and the door is shut, which is why the classical instruction for a chart like that is not to add anything. It's to find the clash that opens the vault. Episode 13, the rabbit reaching for the dog. Same move. Use number 2, your day branch, the animal directly under your own day stem, the chair you're sitting on. Same operation, 1 word. Sitting on your own birth position is the quiet luxury of this system. Whatever the rest of the chart does to you, you regenerate. Sitting on emperor is force directly under your feet. And if you're a yang stem, that's the blade, with everything that comes with it. Sitting on storage is the person who is demonstrably capable and genuinely hard to reach. Sitting on cutoff is someone who has had to build from nothing more than once, and who is usually much better at starting than the people around them realize. Use number 3, and this is where amateurs stop and professionals keep going. Nothing about this wheel is restricted to your Daymaster. Any stem in the chart can be run against any branch. So take your wealth star, go back to episode 8 if you need the 10 gods. Find the stem that carries it, look at the branch it's sitting on and read the stage. Wealth sitting in storage is money that accumulates and doesn't circulate. Wealth at taking office is money that arrives through doing the job. An officer star at cutoff is a career function with no ground under it. The ambition is real and the structure to carry it isn't there yet. Resource at birth is support that renews itself, which usually means a person who never quite runs out of teachers. That's the move. You stop getting one condition report and start getting one for every function in the chart. Now let me do it to him. Yang water over dog, yin metal over pig, yin fire over rabbit, that's him, yin fire, a candle, yang metal over rat. Yin fire's wheel starts at the rooster and runs backwards. So, month branch, the pig, conception, hour branch, the rat, cut off, year branch, the dog, nurturing, and the rabbit, directly under his feet, illness. Every pillar he has is on the bottom of the wheel, not one character above the waterline. Conception, cut off, nurturing, illness. If you wanted a picture of what a genuinely weak chart looks like from the inside, that's it. And notice it reads as something much more specific than the word weak. But there's a conflict in there, and I want you to watch me resolve it, because how you resolve it is the actual skill. That rabbit is wood. Wood feeds fire. In episode 12, I called it the one thing holding him up, his resource, sitting directly beneath him. And the 12-stage wheel calls the same branch illness. Those two statements point in opposite directions. The 5 elements win every time. Wood generates fire. That's the engine, and the engine is not up for negotiation. The stage name is a description layered on top of the engine, and where they disagree, the description loses. Last episode I told you stars are adjectives and structure is the noun. Stages are adverbs. The engine is the verb. But the label isn't garbage either, and this is the part most people get wrong in the other direction. Illness is telling me something true. The help is there and it is not comfortable. It's a single rabbit doing resource work in a waterlogged winter, and that is exactly what help arriving in an unsupportive season feels like. Real and effortful, and not enough on its own. Take the label as texture, never as a verdict. And then 2026, episode 12, I told you his useful god shows up twice. Yang fire in the 10-year pillar, yang fire again in the year. Here's the half I didn't give you. The year branch is the horse, and for a yin fire day master, the horse is taking office, his salary branch. He goes from conception to holding the post. First time it happens anywhere in his chart or his decade. That's what a good year looks like from the inside. Not lucky, but a specific position on a wheel he's been sitting at the bottom of his whole life. One more thing worth stealing from that example. His 10-year branch, the dragon, is decline for yin fire, basically flat. The stem of that pillar is the medicine. The branch isn't doing much, and the year is where it actually lands. Helpful stem, quiet branch. That combination is extremely common, and it is the reason people describe a good decade as 3 or 4 specific years with a lot of waiting in between. 3 moves for your own chart. 1. Day stem gives you your wheel. Month branch gives you your stage. Write down the one word. That word is more useful than strong or weak, and it took you 10 seconds. 2. Day branch, the chair, one more word. Those 2 words together are a shockingly good thumbnail of a person. 3. Pick the one function you actually care about. Money, career, support, output. Find its stem, find its branch, read its stage. Then put every bit of it underneath your useful god where it belongs. Now the honest part, where I take some of it back. 1. The yin stems are genuinely disputed, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. The scheme I showed you, yang forward, yin backward, is the classical one, and it's what most tables print. There's an entire competing school that says the yin stems don't get their own reverse cycle at all, that they share the cycle of the yang stem of the same element. Those two schemes disagree about half the day masters in existence. I used a reverse cycle for texture, and I used a plain 5-element logic for strength, which is why I resolved that rabbit the way I did. Anyone who tells you this question is settled hasn't read the argument. 2. The names are melodramatic, and they are about the element, not about you. Death is not death. Cut off is not doom. I have read charts belonging to people with excellent expansive lives whose day masters sit at Ju, and it makes sense that I would. Ju is the last position before the wheel turns. A system this old picked vivid words because vivid words survive being copied by hand for 1,000 years, not because your Tuesday's in danger. 3. Stage is condition, not outcome. A daymaster at Emperor with nothing to spend itself on is a problem. A daymaster at Conception with abundant resource around it is completely fine. The stage is one variable in a structure, and the structure decides. That's the 3rd episode in a row I've ended on that sentence, and it'll be the same next time. Speaking of which, next episode, the luck pillars, Da Yun. I have used them in 4 separate episodes, and I've never once shown you where they come from, why yours started at the age it did, why your neighbours started at a different age, and why 2 people born on the same day can run their decades in opposite directions along the calendar. It's the timing engine, it's arithmetic, and you can compute your own. If your chart is still hypothetical, easternreading.com. Free, fast in the description. Down below, I'm collecting data and you're the data. Give me 3 things in one line. Your day stem, your month branch, and the stage you land on. That's it. I want to see how this audience is distributed, because I have a theory that the people who find a channel like this one skew hard toward the bottom half of the wheel. The storage and conception end. And either the comments will show that in an hour, or they'll embarrass me in public. Both are useful. And that's all of it. Go check the thing I just told you not to trust. See you next time.